Today I am with you with the topic myself Dr. Lata Sharma with the course code VPC 113. This is political theory, and today we are going to start because we are covering this course code, and this the new topic is rights and right. We can say right. This is the topic of political theory, and we are going to start now. Myself, Dr. Lata Sharma. We will stay within, I think, 1 hour with you. So everything is important to you. You have to listen carefully. As my dear students, you are aware that what type of right? Right is what? Think yourself that what is right. If we say as example that you are walking on a street, you are walking on a road and somebody kick you without any reason. Somebody slap you without any reason on that road. So what you will say that he has the right to slap you, he has the right to kick you, he has the right to something disturb you, otherwise injured you. That we can say he has the right. He is legally right. So everybody and we will say no, he has not the right. So our society, our Indian concern, in Indian concern has given us the constitutional right. So these are the rights that has been given to every individuals to behave properly accordingly to the constitution, according to the moral rights, according to the legal rights, and according to the ethics. So if we say that this is not a good work, so this is really not a good work for every person in this world, because he has not the right. The government, the democratic concern, and the constitution has not given him the right to slap anybody without any reason, publicly and privately also. So now we're starting with the introduction that what is right. In everyday life, we often talk to our rights. As members of a democratic country, we may speak of such rights as the right to vote, the right to form political parties, the right to contest elections, and so on. There are many types. There are many areas where we can say that rights has given to the government and the democratic concern to us, because India is a democratic country. So there is one thing here that every person who has got the age of 18, he has got the right to vote and right to form political parties. And what he can do? Right to contest elections and so on. There is many more. Okay. But apart from that, generally accepted political and civil rights. This is true because everything is not concerned with the politics. Everything is not concerned with the parties and right to vote and elections. This is apart from that. There is generally, we can say there is a social person we are. Then what type of rights as according to that area? That is apart from the generally accepted political and civil rights. Civil rights is also considered here because people today are also making new demands for rights, such as the right to information, right to clean air, or the right to safe drinking water. As we say that this is really very simple thing we are discussing here, but this is also the right to clean air or the right to safe drinking water. What type of water is we are saying? There should be the clean and safe drinking water is our right, that our institutions, that our democratic concern, that our country and our society will give us, because these are right. The rights are essential for development of human personality and for human happiness. This is also true because if we are not getting the clean air and we have not the sufficient water to drink, the clean water to drink, what will happen? Happiness will be not with us. Happiness will go on. Happiness cannot be. Human happiness is based on the basic things. So these are the essential things that on that ground the human's happiness is belong. Rights are the necessary conditions for the personal, social, economic, political, mental, and moral development of individuals. What we can say now, that these are the necessary conditions. What are these rights are the necessary conditions for the personal, social, economic. What type of social? That we are living in a society. Economic, that we are living in an economic society. Which type of economic society we are discussing? That everybody is working for the sake of livelihood, working for the society also, because there is interdependency of all the interest of all human beings. Political, mental, and moral development of individuals. This is moral development. What type of moral development? That is also belongs to our rights, because if we are mentally sound, we are capable to do the serving of the society, and we are also favor for the moral development of the individuals. So these are the thing that is countable in the rights. So this is all, that rights are the necessary conditions for the society personals. Rights are the social requirement of a social man for the development of his personality and society at large. Because of everything is based on that what type of rights the society has given to the individuals, because society has a main source of requirement, main source of democracy. That is, this democratic society has given the right for fulfilling the social requirements of the social man. What for which work? For the development of his personality. What type of personality? That the society has want to take the benefit from that personality. That is, that the society wants that this personality, this person, this individual, this citizen of this society remain happy and give the happiness also. So how this favor he can give only by if he is happy and giving the happiness. Rights are the legal, social, or ethical principles of freedom or entitlement. That is, rights are the fundamental. It is allowed of all people. If we say rights are the legal, social, or ethical principle of freedom or entitlement, yes, this is also we can say okay, because legal, social, or ethical principles is totally followed by the rights. Rights is not another thing. We can say the rights is simply that we want to do in a morally way in a society. If a person is totally obeying and following the moral values of the societies, moral values of the persons, that we can say he is developing the society at his part. Rights are legal, social, or ethical principles of freedom or entitlement. That is, rights are the fundamental normative rule about what is allowed of people or ought to people. That what we are saying here, that fundamental normative rules, all these fundamental normative rules, what is that is I am saying here, this is depend on our values, our rights, our ethics. This is what type of ethics we can say. This is in the society, in the business, in the society there is requirement of societal ethics. There is if we are doing trade and business, this is business ethics. And this is the many areas is covered with the this ethics. So there is social or ethical principle, there are principle of ethical principle, ethicals. So every individuals have the freedom to follow all type of fundamental normative rules, and about what is allowed of people or ought to people. Yes, there is simply thing that they have to be follow and allowed. They have to allowed that they have to do this. So these are the rights definition we will cover now, and I have given the introduction here. This is all about introduction I have given here. Now we will start that many authors, thinkers, writers, what has said about the definition of right. Rights, what they have defined according to me, according to Lasky, according to Beni Prasad, according to T.H. Green, and many, many more. Mill also has given the definition of rights, and Plato has also, Rousseau has also, everybody has their definition according to their societal perception. Lasky, what says Lasky here? Lasky says that those conditions of social life without which he cannot seek in general, in general, to be himself at his best, and every state is known by the right if maintains. Here is he has covered up all that every person have the conditions of social life. If we say the social life conditions, without that he cannot survive. He has to do his best, and every state is known by the rights if maintains. And every state, here we are saying, we want to say here that every type of state, every type of, we can say, democratic society, every type of authoritarian society, every type of societies, if they are not maintaining the rights, they have to maintain the rights, is according to their system. What is to be said here, that every societal concern, every type of society, they have to maintain the rights accordingly. Here Lasky has given all this perception about rights. Now Dr. Beni Prasad, what is doing, what he want to say here for the rights, that rights are nothing more and nothing less than those social conditions which are necessary or favorable to the development of personality. Is in simply what they want to say here, that which type of conditions, social conditions which are necessary or favorable for the development of personality. There is Vinny Prasad is focusing to the person. His focus is upon the person, upon the citizen, upon the individual. So he is there he here want to say that rights are nothing more and nothing less. There is no too much importance, have too much importance, rather than that there is social conditions which are necessary for every person who is giving the favor for the development of society and for the personality. If the personality has been getting the development, the person will automatically get the development. He will get the progress. Though, so Bani Prasad has given in a simple words. They want that rights is simply that gives the options for the development of personality. Now again, T.H. Green. T.H. Green is now favoring for the rights, that right is a power claimed and recognized as contributory to common goods. What they want to say here? There is a power. What is right? Right is a power, are claimed and recognized as contributory to common good. These also they are favoring for the person, individuals, that what they want. This is this power which is claimed and recognized, that should be contribution for the common good. This right should be helpful for the common good. So T.H. Green has also give the emphasis for the that rights is totally should be favor for the common good, and the rights can be introduced as that their rights has their contributory power for the common good. Now we can say what in a short we can say the meaning of rights. Here, rights are primarily those claims that I, along with others, regard to be necessary for leading a life of respect and dignity. As in starting, I had given example to you that rights are primarily those claims. What type of claims? That if I am walking, if I am going somewhere, that any person has no right to kick me and to slap me publicly or privately without any reason. Without he anybody cannot harm to anybody without any reason. So what are the meaning of rights here? That what we have to do, we have to regard to others for which type of working, that type of working, that leading a life of respect and dignity. What we have to do for getting our rights, that leading a life of respect and dignity. This is true that we have to respect. If we want a dignified life, we have to give the dignity to our rights. If we want a respectfully life, for which, for that, what we have to do, we have the rights and we have to regard and we have to respect these type of rights for everybody. Now we will start here that characteristics of rights. That if we say that how we can classify that these are the rights, so these are the characteristics of rights. Rights are those claims of the individual which are essential for his development and self-realization. Here we want to say for the person development and for the person's self-realization. These are the claims that he wants from the society, that rights are my property. Rights I have to. The society has given this right to me, and he use all these rights for his development and for his self-realization, that he is a human being. For what he will realize after getting the rights, that he will self-realize that he is a human being and he has to develop, do the work for the development of society, persons, and all above that is living in the society. Such claims are recognized by society. Here that all type of claims, these are the rights that we are claiming, that should be recognized and introduced by the society also. There can be no rights outside society. Yes, this is true, because if we say outside society, what is outside society? Can you imagine that any right can be, we can claim that is outside society? I think don't there is no any right we can claim here, because there is nothing from the outside society. So we have the rights that should be recognized, introduced, and observed by the society. Next is rights must serve the higher interest of society. They have a moral basis, because of here we want to say here that we have to understand this. Rights must serve the higher interest of the society. There is no, we want to say that we are serving the higher society. No, we are higher interest. We are discussing here higher interest of society. What type of higher interest of society? That can be multiple. They have a moral basis. First of all, the rights should be based on the morality. Morality is most and most important for getting the rights, because if we say the moral values and the rights is interrelated. Moral values says us that any person has no, should have no any intention to harm anybody. The rights also say this thing. If we say that the moral values has got a good defined form for the person, the he has got the framework of rights. So the higher interest of the society, the rights has the values. They have a moral basis. Moral, without moral basis, no any rights can be considered. Rights are not absolute. Restrictions can be placed on rights in the interest and welfare of the society as whole. What we are saying here, that rights are not absolute. This is the characteristics of the right. Their restrictions can be raised out, placed out, if the rights are not in the welfare of the society as whole. Because of, if we say every country has a right to save the country's lives, so they have the right to do the wars. Now if we say they have the rights, but they are not the fulfill, they have not got the rights to destroy the countries. So what we'll say here, that the restrictions can be placed on rights in the interest and welfare of the society as a whole. They have not got the power to disturb and destroy all of the countries as they have the rights. No. So the rights can be considered only for the sake of, for the welfare of the society. Rights should be universal. They should be given to all members of the society. Yes, this is, we can say that there should be no any biasedness, that this right has given to this person and this right has not given to this person because he is not able, he is not capable. So we will say here, according to the hierarchical system, we can say that we have got some rights, that official person have the right to have this accordingly to their positions, and the general person and common person has no right. So this is, we are not discussing here. This is simply, we want to say that rights should be universal. They should be given to all members of the society. That we are saying here, for the drinking water, clean air, living accommodations, and if we say that education system, hospital, this is the rights should be universal. These are the rights that every person has to be given by the society. The state gives legal recognition to rights. What the state does for the rights? The state gives the legal recognition by putting them, by taking the, by putting them, we can say, from the constitution, because our constitution has given us all type of recognition, legal recognition. So the state has the power to give the recognition to rights as a legal term. The state is the coercive force which ensures the exercise of rights. Now we are saying here next that these are the characteristics of rights, that rights of the individual must correspond to the contribution which he makes to the society in his personal capacity. Just as a man who doesn't work has no right to food, similarly, he who doesn't perform functions to contribute the social good cannot demand any rights. Here, this is the thing that we want to share here, we want to discuss here, that rights of the individual must correspond to the contribution. Which type of contribution they want? The by the side of labor, by the side of working, by the side of mental labor, by the side of physical labor, which he makes to the society in his personal capacity. That if we say, if we give the example that I am contributing to the society by giving this lecture, that I am giving the education, I am giving the contribution by my side for giving the education. So this contribution is counted that I have given my contribution by my personal capacity to perform functions to contribute to social good. If I am not giving my personal capacity contribution to the society, that I have no right, that he that I have no right, that I can demand any rights from the society. Any other cases we can counter this. If I'm not capable, if I have some issues, if I have physical issues, so I can claim that that the society has to give in the rights to me, that social good socially good things can be given to me by the side of society. Here, rights must be related to the needs of the people. This is the most important statement here, that needs of the people. What is we want to say? Needs. Need is more important than right. The needs of people change with the time and circumstances. The content of rights must also change accordingly. Here, this we have given this statement that at the time of Socrates, at the time of Plato, at the time of ancient timings, we can count here, that time of rights and today's time of rights is totally have a difference. So if we say that time of rights has been given to that in a such form, today you have the society is not giving, so because the people, the rights should have to be changed accordingly. And the enjoyment of right is conditional on the performance of duties and obligations. Rights and duties go together. Rights and duties go together. Should be counted as duties. So, what we want to say, the enjoyment of rights is conditional on the performance of duties and obligations. Rights and duties go together. This is true. According to Dr. Beni Prasad, rights and duties are interdependent. This is that rights and duties are interdependent. They are, we can say, have an interdependency each other. So these are the characteristics of the rights we have given here. I think all of my dear students, you have got through with this. That's characteristics of rights. Nature. What type of nature? Because in a questions and answer, if we want to give the answer, that give the characteristics of rights and nature also, brief the nature also. So what type of nature of rights? This theory, rights theory, we are doing here, we are discussing here. What is the nature of this? In the light of the various definition of rights by eminent scholars, it can be said that right is a claim of an individual recognized by the society and guaranteed by the state. Right is a claim of an individual that is recognized, as we have discussed earlier, that every type of rights that has got the form of legal, this is recognized by the society and guaranteed by the state also, because if the state has not given the guarantee that this type of right has been recognized for the society, that should not be counted as a right, because state should be present there for giving the guarantee of that type of rights. The first ingredient of the concept of right is that it is a claim of the individual, but not all claims can be regarded as rights. It is required that only such claims to be considered which are, what we can say here, that the first ingredient of the society for the concept of right is that it is a claim of the individual. What we want to say here, that it is required that only such claims be considered which are based on rational considerations. Second is which are universally applicable. Next is which promote common good of the society. Now it is required that only such claims should be considered. Which type of claims? That claim should be based on rational considerations, which are universally applicable and which promote common good of the society. Secondly, individuals' claim which promotes the good of all must be recognized by the society. Here is secondly, individuals' claim which promote the good of all. There is a, we can say, important line is what we can say, the which promotes the good of all must be recognized by the society. For example, an individual's claim that nobody should deprive him of his possessions, when recognized by the society, becomes the right to property. This is simple example here. Lastly, the socially recognized claims are translated by the state into law. Here, what we want to say, that socially recognized claims are translated by the state into law. State has given clear word that if the thing is according to legally and comes in the surroundings of law, that should be that type of claim should be considered. This is third ingredient of right. The state accords them legal recognition. Simple. The state says that that type of claims should be count as legal recognition. Therefore, rights are ethical when they are claims of individuals. They are social when recognized by the society, and they are legal when they are translated into law by the state. What I want to say here, that rights are ethical when they are claims by the individuals. If a person is claiming that this right is not given to me, that can be considered as an ethical claim. But when they are social, when they recognized by the society, that type any right which is counted by the society, and anybody is claiming that this type of social right is given has not given to me, that type of social claim should be counted as social claim. And the other hand, when the state translated the law, that should be counted the legal right. Classification, kinds and type of rights. Students, please give a important attention to this, that classification, kinds and type of rights, these are three: natural, moral and legal. Legal is civil, political, economical, social and cultural. There is a kinds and type of rights. Civil rights. What is type of civil rights? We have, you and me also. We have all type of rights. Right to life, right to personal liberty and freedom, right to security, right to privacy, right to home, right to on property, right to freedom from torture, right to freedom from inhuman treatment. What type of rights we have? That we have all type of rights that is related to the society, and we can say these are the civil rights here. Secondly, we can say here what type of economic, social, and cultural rights. Economic rights, social rights, and cultural rights. Here, right to adequate food, clothing, and housing. These are the economic rights. Right to adequate standard of living. This is also counted as a standard of living, that is economic right. Right to freedom from hunger. Freedom from hunger. What is this? That this is social right, we can say. Right to work. This is also social right. Right to social security. Right to physical and mental health. Everybody has got the right that they want a social security. Anybody will not harm without without any reason. So this is social security. And physical and mental health. Which type of physical and mental health? That they have, the society has the hospitals, should give the hospitals that can treat the persons who are not capable for giving too much high structure of amount. So the society has the right to give the physical and mental health free. Right to education. This is the important right, that everybody has the right that the society gives the education free. If the state and society can be capable, have the capacity to give the free education. Right to self determination or physical protection. This is also important, and the Supreme Court has also given the physical protection here, that I have the right to save my life in a typical circumstances. So I have the right to save my life. Right to free from discrimination. As earlier in our society, there is too much discrimination we have seen. So this is our right, that we have to free from that is discrimination. Discrimination, which type of discrimination? That is belong to societal based, caste based, untouchability, and all these. So this is discrimination should not be counted. We have the right that we have to free from all type of discrimination. Right to free from slavery. Right to rest. This is also to be counted, right to rest. Maternity leave, paternity leave in a government employee has got the right to rest. This is the time that every lady, every female person have got this right, because the maternity leave is their right. Right to free from slavery. Slavery is that now a person cannot be slave, because we have ended the slavery system in our society. So every person can claim that he doesn't want to be a slave. So the society and state has given statement to free every person from the slavery system. He has got the right. This economic, social, and cultural rights. Now we are discussing here what is natural rights. This is natural rights. Are these rights which are natural in the sense of art, and in the sense not artificial, not man-made. as rights deriving from human nature or from the God. They are universal. They apply to all people and do not derive from the laws of any specific society. They exist necessarily in every individual and cannot be taken away. They are sometimes called inalienable rights. Natural rights are those rights which belong to man by nature, as our surroundings, as our atmosphere, as our, we can say, environment has given this natural rights. They are regarded as self-evident truth. They are pre-civil and according to some writers, even pre-social also. Natural rights is pre-social also. The exponents of social contract theory, Thomas Hobbes, and Locke and Rousseau, held that natural rights existing in the state of nature prior to this civil society. What has Hobbes and Locke and Rousseau said that these are the natural rights that is prior to the civil society. However, natural rights can be the best explained in that they are natural because they are essential to every individual. If we say the environment, if we say that we are living in a, we are taking the air, the fresh air, we are using the fruits, we are taking the shelter of the trees, we are everything which is natural, not buying. That is depend on that is natural rights. Moral rights we now given here. Moral rights are related to the individual sense of conviction. They depend on the ethical standards of the community. For example, a teacher has a moral claim to be treated with respect by the students. However, moral rights cannot be enforced by the state. This is true because of every type of moral rights we have to be understood by the society. Society and families and friends and this all our surroundings gives that this type of moral rights. What is moral rights? We can say if somebody is harmed and get some problem, so we have the right, moral right, that we have to serve him, that we have to save him, that we have to give some help. So these are the moral rights. They are sanctioned by the society and backed by the public opinion. Violation of moral rights does not entail legal punishment. Violation of moral right doesn't entail legal punishment. Moral right is that if I have not given help to that person at that time when he was in problem, so there is this is moral right. If I have not done this work, the legal punishment cannot be given by the state to me because this is moral right and I have violated that type of moral right, but I have not done any legal work that should be punished. Moral rights are based on our morality, justice, or conciseness, and they are not guaranteed by any legal authority. Moral rights are largely based on religious belief and the moral conceptions of the public, of the people in any society. If we say that what is the base of moral rights, that we can say the religious belief and the moral conceptions which our society's people is doing. They are facing, they are doing, they are, we can say, their perception is based on moral rights. Therefore, they differ from society to society. They arise out of man's moral sense. Legal rights. Legal rights are those rights which are secured by the state and guaranteed through its laws. Legal rights may be defined as the claims recognized by the state. These rights are enforced by the state through its police and courts. Legal rights are embodied in the constitution. Legal rights are based on a society's customs, laws. We can say that is this combination of customs, laws, statutes, or actions by the legislature. An example of legal right is the right to vote of citizens. Citizenship itself is often considered as the basis for having legal rights and has been defined as the right to have rights. Legal rights are sometimes called civil rights or statutory rights and are culturally and politically relative since they depend on specific societal context to have meaning. Legal rights are further divided into three categories, namely civil rights, political rights, and economic rights. Principle and elements. These are the, we can say here, you can see that, yes, yes. Sorry, we have gone some. Now we are doing here, what is civil rights? They are those rights without which no civilized life is possible. Civilized life is impossible under the fear of being hurt, attacked, killed, or our property confiscated. Civil rights are considered to be primary and more vital from than the other two. The important civil rights are protection of life and property, right to education, right to family, right to freedom, right to speech and expressions, right to life, right to security, right to privacy, right to home, right to own property, right to freedom from torture, and right to freedom from inhuman treatment. These are the civil rights. They are absolutely necessary for the development of man in all his aspects. In most modern states, they are guaranteed by the constitution. The state safeguards civil rights against encroachment by individual on the government. Now we will continue here. Development is a human right. What type of development, what type of human right we are saying here? So we will start here. What is right to development? Because if we are in a society, why we want to develop, why we want to progress for the right, there should be a right to development also. Who are the right holders and duty bearers of the right to development? The right to development in regional human rights system and instruments, the right to development and the 2020 agenda, UN Declaration on the Right to Development. What we will say, if the society has got, the individual has got the right, that they have the sense to develop the society also. So this is UN Declaration Charter. The act inalienable human right by virtue of which every human person and all peoples are entitled to participate in contribute to and enjoy economic, social, cultural and political development in which all human rights and fundamental freedom can be fully realized. What is this UN Declaration want to say? That it is a human right and the source of human rights based approach to development. It is both individual and collective. It has both nationals and international dimensions. It entitles everyone to participate in, contribute to, enjoy development and its economic, social, cultural, and political dimensions. So, UN Declaration has given this right to development. How we can give we can do the development by the sense of right. Principle and animals, people-centered development. There should be people-centered development. Human right based approach, there should be human rights based approach, because of if we want a development. Participation, active, free and meaningful participation of all individual and peoples. Non-discrimination, there is race, sex and language or religion, there should be no discrimination. Equity, for fair distribution of benefits, that should be carried to the area of development. Rights of people to self-determination. Like all human rights, the principles of equality, non-discrimination, participation, accountability, and transparency are intrinsic to the RTD, right to development. Development is a comprehensive economic, social, cultural, and political process which aims to the consent improvement of human well-being. The human person is the central subject, active participant, and beneficiary to the of the RTD. RTD is meaning here right to development here. State must act to eliminate human rights violations of all forms. Who are the right holders and duty bearers of the right to development? Right holders, the human being, both individual and collectively. All individual, all peoples, or and the entire population. Emphasis on women, children, and other group. Because right holders, they are duty bearers. State have the primary responsibility to respect, protect, and fulfill the RTD at three levels. RTD is here again right to development. Internally through national policies and programs, what how the state duty bearers state give the responsibility to protect, respect, and fulfill the right to development by all these levels. Internationally through policies extending beyond their jurisdictions, collectively through global and regional partnership. The RTD in global and regional human right instrument and system. United Nations Declaration on the Right to Development, Inter-American Human Rights System, African Human Rights System, Arab Charter on Human Rights, Association of Southeast Nations Human Rights Declarations, and OIC, Independent Permanent Human Rights Commission, Abu Dhabi Declaration. So, all type of declaration that is globally and regionally have the human rights instrument and system. This is by these all of these rights, there should be development can be count. So there are charters that has given the globally intention for the right to development. Inter-American Human Rights System. Now they are a charter of the Organization of American States. What they want to say, that what type of human rights system and by what they can they can uh, get the development system. Details the concept, right, and duties of integral development, the overall purpose of which should be establishment of a more just economic and social order that will make possible and contribute to the fulfillment of the individual. This is Article 33, they have given this, and the inter-American human rights system by which they can go, they can get the development. Cooperation among state in this regard should include the economic, social, educational, cultural, scientific, and technological field. Support the achievement of national objectives of the member states and respect the priorities established by each country in its development plans without political ties of conditions. Now, Inter-American Human Rights System, this is Human Rights System, Article 26 has given this progressive development. What they are saying now? The state parties undertake to adopt measures both internally and through international corporations, especially those of an economic and technical nature, which a view with a view to achieving progressively by legislation or other appropriate means. The full realization of the rights implicit in the economic, social, educational, scientific, and cultural standards set forth in the Charter of Organization of American States as amended by the Protocol of Buenos Aires. Now we are coming here for the African human and people's right system. What they by this African human and people right system, they want a development. There is all people shall have the right to their economic, social, and cultural development with due regard to their freedom and identity, and in the equal enjoyment of common heritage of mankind. This is by which they can got the development. So they are covering all type of aspects. States shall have the duty individually or collectively to ensure the exercise of the right to development. Arab Charter on Human Rights. What the Arab Charter for the Arabian countries? They want to get the they have the human rights, and by which they can got the development. And Article 37 they have said here, and Article 39, young person have the right to be afforded the most ample and opportunities for physical and mental development. Now they are focusing on this. The right to development is a fundamental human right. All state parties shall establish development of policies and take measures to ensure this right. They must give effect to the values of solidarity and cooperation among them at the international level to eliminate poverty and achieve economic, social, cultural, and political development. Association of Southeast Asian Nations, what the ASEAN group want to say about the Human Rights Declaration 2012, and by this how they can get the development, the right to development. A section of the ASEAN Human Rights Declaration is devoted to the right to development. In paragraph 37, member states recognize that the implementation of the right to development requires effective development policies at the national level as well as international corporations. And the state should mainstream aspect of the right to development into ASEAN community building as well as work with the international community to promote development. Paragraph 35 also given the UN declaration on the RTD. Paragraph 36 also that the sustainable development and the progressive narrowing of the development gap in ASEAN. RTD and the 2030 Agenda Sustainable Development Goals. What they want to see here, this is for the getting the agenda in 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. These goals are no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production. These are the agenda for the sustainable development goals. This is right to development. 2030 agenda. We are discussing that 12 point. Now 13 is climate action. 14 is life below water, and go on life on land, peace, justice and strong institutions, partnership for the goals. Right to development of 2030 agenda and SDGs, Addis Ababa action agenda. This has been declared in Paris Agreement. International cooperation, solidarity, and friendly relations are essential to realizing the RTD. Next is the RTD requires good governance, equality of opportunity for all India access to basic resources and services, fair distribution of income, an active role for women in the development process, and economic social reforms to eradicate social injustice. Next is 2030 agenda is informed by the RTD declaration and recognize respect for human rights, including the rights to development, trade, investment, finance, aid, debt, technology, intellectual property, and other such global arrangements must be addressed through the RTD's normatives framework to create an enabling international environment for development. Now we can say RTD and SDGs, mutual reinforcement and synergy in action. RTD principle and elements and what should be in 2030 agenda and SDGs and targets. These are the graph here. People-centered development. We are RTD's principle and elements. This is first here. A human rights-based approach. State as primary duty bearer. Participation, equality, non-discrimination, accountability, and transparency. What they want to say here? These are the principle and elements by which we can got the agenda. This is all about this. You can see all of these. You can learn, and these are the paragraphs and the primer. Realize human rights for all. This is main agenda. The RTDs and SDGs. SDGs provides renewed opportunity and potential contribution to the operationalizing the RTD's right to development. Consistent goals and targets, similar emphasis on duties of states, and in the last, enabling environment, policy space, and policy coherence. So this is for all today, my dear students. We are going to last this. That is RTD and SDGs for everyone and everywhere. Today's is we have going to the last. So thank you very much. Namaskar.